Hi, Manuela. I enjoyed reading your post this week and thought you did a wonderful job of looking at the similarities between secular behavioral mental health responses and disasters and those that the church would offer. I saw that you really highlighted that both government and church responses need to include collaboration and partnership, which is so true. You noted how that builds resilience in communities, but not just within the organizations that partner together, but also it strengthens the whole community. And we have lots of evidence of seeing that in my area. I live down along the Gulf Coast, and Hurricane Harvey hit us very hard back in 2017. And our house rather miraculously did not flood, but came very close to flooding. However, our whole area was devastated, and we had to initiate a lot of grassroots response because FEMA and other organizations were days and in a couple of cases weeks in really getting here and establishing the kind of support that our area needed. So you probably recall, if you watched the news, all of the people with their own bass boats and things like that, bailing people out of their homes and rescuing them. But our church also opened its doors and acted as an emergency shelter until FEMA could secure housing for people. And so I got to see firsthand some of the other things you talked about, which was, not just the need for partnership, which our area certainly, thankfully, exhibited and leveraged in that crisis, but the ability of the church to have an immediate and more personalized response than government or even NGO intervention can do. Some of the people in our area had been affected so badly and were fearful of letting the government come in their home and do repairs or demolition and things like that. They didn't know the people. They weren't sure that they would be careful with their belongings and their home. And however, they would allow our church and our partners to go in there with just crews of volunteers and rip out sheetrock for them that was moldy and just basically get their house minimally safe and livable. So that was a really powerful example to me of how important these relationships are with our community from the church, but also how hard it is for people who have been traumatized to trust that the government, we're from the government, we're here to help. That can be really difficult to trust when you're talking about things that have taken often the lives of people that you cherish, and certainly in almost every situation here, the belongings and the livelihood of many people. So I do think the church has an amazing opportunity to come into these areas and to really affect change and have an opportunity not only for people's trauma to be effectively ministered to, but to even open doors to the gospel for those who are really looking for hope in really dark times. I really appreciated your emphasis on Hebrews 13:16, that verse, and the church's charge to look in our own storehouses, and how often we sometimes fail to do that. I think our culture looks a lot to the government to show up and and do things, but the church, no matter what context we're in, whether it's in America or around anywhere else around the world, our charge is really to look at home first and to give out of that. And I loved your emphasis on that, and how you applied that to disaster mental health recovery. So great job on your post this week. Thank you for sharing your insights and that scripture with me. And I hope you have a wonderful semester and that we'll get to connect some more. Thanks and take care.